Good afternoon, class. Okay, our lecture lesson for today is forensic photography. Part 1 lecture. What is photography? So, photography is derived from a Greek word photo or phos, which means light, and graphos or graphin, which means to draw or write. Those literally photography means is to draw with light. So remember it, class, that photography in literally meaning is to draw with light. So photograph refers to the chemical, mechanical, or electronic product of photography. So technical aspects of photography. As an art, photography is the art of taking pictures. So it is an art of taking pictures. So as a science, photography is the study concerning the duplication of images. So remember, it is the study concerning the duplication of images through the action of light upon sensitized materials like photographic paper or film, with the aid of mechanical devices like camera and its accessories, and the chemical processes like film developing or printing involved therein. As a technology, photography is the technology geared towards the reproduction of images. By using the action of light on a sensitive surface, photographic film with the help of an images forming device like camera and the chemical process developing and printing involved therein. So, as a process also, it is a method of photography using light to produce identical images of an object that can be preserved permanently by employing like the camera to regulate means regulate, absorb, and filter light with light. Second is film sensitized materials to record the light. So next is the technical photography and forensic photography. So number one is that technical photography refers to the technical concepts and principles which includes characteristics of photographic rays, the use of camera, lenses, filters, structure of film and photographic papers, chemical processings, and others. Police photography also refers to the study of general practices, methods or techniques of taking pictures of the crime scene, physical evidence, and other circumstances that can be used as evidence or, or for law enforcement purposes. Second is the field that focuses on the practical application of the law, science of photography in police work or law enforcement operation. Third is the field that deals with systematic crime scene photography and mag file preparation, including scientific techniques of photography to produce and preserve for law enforcement purpose. So, while the police photographers plays a crucial role in criminal investigation, the photographs that they are taken at the crime scene create a permanent record of the scene and the evidence found there, which both detectives and prosecutors rely on. So forensic photography, in the other hand, refers to the field covering the legal application of photography in criminal jurisprudence and criminal investigation. It is the branch of forensic science, sometimes called criminalistics, dealing with the study of fundamental but pragmatic principles of photography. So second is the application of photography in law enforcement. Third is the preparation of photographic evidence needed by the prosecutors and courts of law. So objectives of police photography. To better understand police photography, we must know its objectives. So its objectives is to produce a pictorial record of everything pertaining to the crime. Second is to help in keeping the police officers' memory. So take note of this. Police officers' memory keeping accurately as possible as to where find the things. So to help in securing and obtaining confession, disposition, and information relating to the case. So importance of forensic photography. Small objects great but of great importance in a crime committed may escape in the first phase of examination by the investigator, but may be seen and recorded on the photograph. So it means that we may not see in our naked eye, but may be seen and recorded by photograph. It can be examined by the investigator. Second is a good photograph of the scene is a permanent record which is always available, especially in court presentation. In court proceedings, fiscals and defense lawyers have generally never visited the scene of the crime. Third is as a general rule, take many photographs of the crime scene and select the best. So it is the general rule of the investigator in forensic photography. Take note to take many pictures of the crime scene and select which is the best for the investigation. 4. Use an aid by the investigator. 2. Describe in court some of the details of the crime scene. They have investigated several months ago the small details and exact location of objects. Number 5 is to assist the investigators in using photographic equipment and techniques in their effort to solve crime. Significance of photography in law enforcement and criminal investigation. Number 1, trust. So photographs are necessary to be preserved by space, time, and event. So when you say space, the where of the crime scene, locus criminis, means where did the crime scene been done. Time is when the crime scene. Event is the way of the crime. What is the nature or character of the crime? Second is pictures allow police investigator to understand the element of the clarifying and revealing what is not seen and understood upon the discovery of the crime. Number 3 is photograph is a great help in preserving the visual appearance of the crime. It provides permanent record of the facts of the crime. Steps are taken to ensure proper photographic documentation. So what are the steps? Number 1, secure the scene. So that is very important as a first responder. In all forensic investigation, the first step is to secure the crime scene. So second is evaluate condition. Next, the photographer should evaluate the available light and weather conditions and adjust camera settings appropriately. Crime scenes can be indoors, outside, or both. They can be vehicles, include multiple rooms, or any combination of location. Therefore, no single camera setting will work for all crime scenes. So, we must adjust to the conditions by the light and weather, because so that our photographs will be appropriately clear for crime scene investigation. Third is shoot the scene. So the photographer should take photographs before anything is disturbed. So number 1 rule, before you take any weapons or any evidences, you must photograph it first. Progressively working through the scene from outside to close-up pictures. So close-up pictures, many shots should be taken from the entire scene to medium shots to show the relationship of evidence to the overall scene. Number 4, photograph the victims. The next series of shots should include victims, if present, to show location, injuries, and conditions. Number 5 is photograph the evidence. So then each piece of evidence should be photographed to illustrate where it was found. This establishes the relationship between the evidence and the victim. the victim to the room, and so on. So the photographs should be taken from straight above or straight on at right angles. Remember, right angles, eliminating potential distance, distortion. Each piece of evidence should be photographed with a scale to indicate size and without a scale. Types of photography. So there are types of photography. Number one is forensic photography. So forensic, it refers to the science or the recording of the crime scene or any other objects for court presentation. Number two is photomicrography. This refers to the process of taking photographs through a microscope. A camera is mounted directly above the microscope's eyepiece. Number third is microphotography. This refers to the techniques of duplicating and reducing a picture or a document to a miniature size for storage. Number four is photomacrography. I photomacrography. This is the direct enlarging to the negative and magnified from 1 to 9 times. So it means enlargement of the picture. Number 5. Macro photography. This refers to close-up photography that produces images on the film that are life-size. Number 6 is ultraviolet photography. This refers to an ultraviolet light source that is used to illuminate the object, and the camera lens is provided with a filter that permits only the passage of ultraviolet light. The second, the method makes use of fluorescence caused by ultraviolet light. A filter used on the camera absorbs ultraviolet light and allows the passage of the fluorescence light. 7 is infrared photography. This is with special dyes. So remember, infrared photography is with the use of the special dyes. Photographic emulsions can be made sensitive to light in the visible infrared portion of the spectrum. Infrared light cuts through atmospheric haze and enables clear photographs to be taken from long distances or high altitudes because any object radiates in infrared light. It can be photographed in complete darkness. So with the use of infrared light, you can photograph even though it is dark. Infrared photography techniques are used whenever small differences in temperature, in absorption, or reflection capabilities for infrared light have to be detected. Number 8 is X-ray photography. X-ray photography refers to the photographic recording by the use of X-ray to produce pictures called radiography, which becomes an important diagnostic tool in medicine. Radiography using very energetic X-rays or gamma rays is also employed to detect welding defects and structural defects in pressure vessels, pipes, and mechanical parts, especially those that are critical for safety reasons as nuclear power plants, airplanes, and submarines. Number 9 is flash photography. This refers to taking of photographs with light bursts. So flash photography, the key is taking photographs with light bursts. Photography that illuminates its subject with a brief flash of artificial light. Number 10. Strict photography. This refers to photography that traces movement by either the camera or the subject being moved during exposure. 11. Nighttime photography. This refers to the photography without flash, which is now possible with many modern cameras, but as the long exposure time requires to use fast film. 12 is high-speed photography and cinematography. This refers to photography using modern cameras that allows exposure with shutter speed up to 1:1000 seconds. Shorter exposure times can be attained by illuminating the object with a short light flash. In 1913, the American engineer Harold E. Egerton developed an electronic strobe light with which he produced flash of 1:500,000 seconds, enabling him to photograph a bullet in flight. By the use of series of flashes, the progressive stages of objects in motion such as flying bird can be recorded on the same piece of film. So 13. Aerial photography. This refers to photography using special cameras that are often equipped with several lenses and large films magazines and set in vibrating-free mountings on aeroplanes. Cameras mounted in satellites are also used for such photography. A special application of aerial photography is military surveillance and reconnaissance. Some reconnaissance satellites are equipped with cameras having objectives of long focal lengths that produces image of very high resolution in which cars or even smaller objects can be recognized. Number 14 is underwater photography. This refers to special power of photography which underwater cameras in pressure-resistant housings are also used in deep sea explorations. 15 is astronomical photography. So this refers to photography that places the photographic plate in a focal plane of telescope. Astronomers can obtain precise records of the location and brightness of celestial bodies outside our atmosphere. So number 16 is microfilming. So refers to the photography that consists of photographically reducing images to a very small size. An early application was the photographing of a bank cheques in 1920s. Now the technique is widely used to store information that would otherwise require too much space. Mugshot photography. This refers usually for personal identification. Remember mugshot photography? Personal identification, which is the first use of photography in police or law enforcement work. So thermo photography. This refers to a kind of photography wherein we use laser beam radiation using laser beam film. So number 19 is telephotography. This refers to the process of taking photographs of a far object with the aid of a long focus and telephoto lens. Okay class, that is the end of our lecture and we will continue our lecture next week. Thank you and God bless.